What a side. Yep. We are good to go. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live, here on IG and YouTube. We are back for another show, part 2 of our series on the Ebony K. Williams. Down and double down and triple down and quadruple down on Blue Collar America. Yes, we are here, we are live, we are ready, we are available. Hope you had a good week. Hope you are well as well. The sun is out here in the city today. It was a very, very nice day. I had did my cardio today, trying to get that weight down before the summer hits, before the beach weather hits. And also, yeah, looking good, feeling great. Oh, let me just plug this in right quick before this thing runs out of power on me. Boom. And that original wrap. I just want to get on here quick. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, ready to go here. Yes. Everything's charging, everything's moving, everything's going in the right direction. Yes. So, tonight, I thought I'd talk about, as I said, talk about the other side of the MBK Williams argument, and that is the last show was about black feminism going wrong, for which I was actually given a strike on TikTok for that. It seems that when you mention feminism going wrong, TikTok doesn't exactly like that. They want feminism to go right, not wrong, for some reason. Oh well. The emasculation of men goes on, but there's no problem with that in terms of TikTok. But if they're talking about ladies, well, you must suffer for that. And again, my apologies to TikTok. But we're moving forward with this topic that I'm sure that I won't be stricken off the TikTok records in terms of my shorts. And that is with regards to if blue-collar men are second-class citizens in the dating market. And this is going back to the Ebony K. Williams remarks that were put out there regarding her saying that she would never double down for blue-collar workers. She would never. I'm going to be putting up the exact words here tonight. I'm just paraphrasing right now. Oh, Jay's hit a home run. Very nice, very nice. And it was... Oh, yes. Must say, I got to give out my sponsor. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. This is an old version of Duntalk, but the spring summer line is out now. Please go out and look out for that. DUNTALK.com. 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 Sponsor of Talk Talk Live. So, let's continue the story. So, Ebony K. Williams, she said herself that she would not lower herself to blue-collar workers who have earned C and D's in their scholastic times, and at the end of the day, they are beneath her for her to date. Before she is a high-value woman, she is one who earns in excess of $1 million a year, and to do that would ruin the brand. Quite simply, it would not be so befitting of her as a high-value woman to carry around a man who works hard and who provides as much as possible for himself and his family. It's just beneath her, even though maybe in her lineage that may have been the case. But today, Ebony is a new woman. She is a modern woman, and so she must she must shirk said past for the here and now, and that is that she is a woman of a certain taste, and quite simply deserves the finer things in life. Even though a high-collar man can give you the high value man, can give you the better things in life in terms of protection, privilege, protection, provision, and also family life as well. But again, these are all different things. But again, let's get into her actual words. So we're gonna get into this on Talk Talk Live. Let me switch to my browser. I did that now. Well, and we're gonna go straight to it and get into it here. Now, again, I believe it is. Yes, I'm just trying to find it here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. We have a few selections that we can choose from here with regards to that. And I am just going to choose from one of them. And okay, let's go back into it. Let's see if indeed no, that was last time. Okay, so let's stop that. So just gonna cue it up right now. So yeah, let's go back into her sentiment, her comments from last week, because I don't want to get things wrong. I don't want to get things. I always want to try and do right here. So, yes, I believe this is it. Oh no, no, no. You know, let's go with this one since this is a little more accurate. From Chissa Zed, shout out to him and like and subscribe to him. He's been doing wonderful work on these YouTube streets. And let's get into it with regards to her. This is the doubling down of her activities. But first, let's go to Coach Adams. Coach, here we go. There we go. I think it's right here that we had to start things out. So let's go here and hear from Coach Adams and hear the sentiments of Talk Talk. Hear the words of Ms. Ebony K. Williams here on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me, and let's go.
Okay, look, this is the first appearance. I don't know if it's the lighting, the camera, or what. My goodness. So this is the first appearance right here. With this face all, with the lips all pursed. Oh, somebody says she has fibrosis. Does she have fibrosis? I mean, so every week you go up 25 pounds and down. All right, so this is the first appearance right here. Maybe she'll talk about it. This is the second appearance. That's the second appearance. And then this. Oh wait, you guys can't see it. Oh yes, you can see it. All right, and then this is the last appearance here that we're gonna cover. All right, and so you can tell, man, so that should be a red flag to you right there. All right, and not only that, if she has health issues, watch out. She on her period. That's her. Like, this is over a 2 or 3 week period. All right, let's continue. She might be stressed.
Okay, that goes into her appearance on the Breakfast Club, which we will get into a little bit later if we have the time. But let's go back here and refer to her her second statements. Let's just see if I have any other statements here. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I just want. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is what I wanted to do. Yes. Here is her first statement from Talk Talk Live with regards to her not wanting to date a bus driver. So let's get into that right now. Thank you very much to Medium Man. Medium Man's doing wonderful things out there. Shout out to him, and sorry for the delay, but we are ready to go here with regards to her first statement. And let's go with this.
Available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum. Trust me, I've done them all. They are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having.
Remember, these are all lies. I showed that on last week on Talk Talk Live that they are indeed earning the incomes. They are indeed providing as much as possible. Actually, they make up the majority of the working public and the working funds within the black community. Most of them being blue-collar workers that she is lying about, that she doesn't want to see. I do remember that 80% of ladies women deem 80% of men unattractive. So she doesn't see these gentlemen. She doesn't see the bus driver. She doesn't see the mechanic. She doesn't see the contract. She doesn't see the landscaper. She doesn't see the Manolo. So again, let's move forward.
The resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date?
If he owns the bus, if he owns it, if he owns the bus.
Okay, well there you go. That she's just showing her the bougie side of her, of course. You know what I mean? She's listen. She's a high value woman. She's allowed a preference. So be it. But again, it's sort of a slight, of which she will double down later. With regards to blue collar men, and she has a preference for high value guys, but we're gonna show how remote those her preferences really are in terms of landing one of these gentlemen. Let's go.
That's a problem.
This is not about her standards. This woman is about to be 40 years old. She is making decisions. So I don't need any black man complaining about this woman's standards, because at 40 years old, she gets it.
She gets it. Let's move on.
How women need to
Yeah, just-
cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, I don't know, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes, they're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
So she has already put out there, quite simply, she wants black women to rally around her and say, hey, let's reject these hardworking yet underachieving, quote unquote, and underpaid men en masse. Let's just, how do we eliminate them from the dating pool so that we can get all the high value men that are owed to us? Just eliminate them. How do we do it? And you see, Iyanla, give her credit. She's fighting in our corner, people. She is fighting in a black man, blue collar corner when she heard that, because she knew exactly what she meant by that. Straighten our crowns is the caption here. But, hey, let's move forward. Iyanla catches that and we move on.
Would you date a bus driver? You. Would you date?
If he owns the bus, if he owns it, if he owns the bus.
And that confirms it, people. That confirms it. And that is that unless you're earning a certain salary, you can't talk to her. You must earn the privilege to speak to her or to date her or to interact with her, which is, well, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. And she's entitled to her preference. Let me say that. She's entitled to it.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well.
And like I said, this is not about her standards. This woman is about to be 40 years old. She is making decisions. So I don't need any black man complaining about this woman's standards.
No.
Because at 40 years old, she gets it. Kevin Samuels tried his best to explain to these older women what you're dealing with on the dating market.
You would be considered a modern day woman, which Kevin Samuels actually says is our downfall a lot, is that the modern day woman is not prepared to be a wife because we're so overly independent.
How is Kevin? I'm listening to some Kevin
I really
Samuels.
don't even
You
acknowledge
don't
that.
have to. I'm just saying,
It's a conversation.
I love how these women don't acknowledge him, even though he's part of pop culture now, and men have a different rating system for women, and that's why they really don't acknowledge Kevin at all, because he brought forth a new age in terms of dating, and we're going to get to Kevin a little later. But again, let's continue this.
Interesting, right? It's an interesting catalyst for deeper, more important conversations.
It's really triggered how
Thank
he talks
you.
to girls. I'm very
Oh,
serious.
it's
Like,
awful. So I find something funny. So this is, but I don't listen to a ton of Kevin's because I do think sometimes he be right about some of these women.
he do be right a little bit.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, as a woman who is, I would consider.
And the thing about it is, here's the funny thing about it. She understands people, as it said in the caption there. Shout out to Minded Men. She understands what that some of these girls are a bit, outlandish and outrageous in their demands. However, this was done before this interview here. I forget where it's coming from. What was it? horrible, horrible. Yes, horrible decisions. There you go. Horrible decisions. That's the name of this show that she appears on here. And again, she has Big Shirley and friends on the show. But again, hey, very informative in the fact that she understands indeed that some of these girls are out of their minds, including herself. So she's telling on herself here. So let's continue.
Despite you being auntie age, like you said, you are a modern day woman. You own businesses and you're growing. There's no ceiling to what you can do either. However, you do still have a lot of powerful, wealthy men, which is what I think a lot of us seek, who want the housewife, who don't want you to do anything. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit before we get into as well your positioning in men's lives.
Yes.
But yeah, talk to us about that.
I think it's a real conflict of interest is the best way to describe it. Because you're right. I think I thought, and I think I still think, but I'm open to being corrected on this.
Before we go there, I want to stop that. Before we actually get into her actual views, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. I want to hear from the doubling down. I want to hear, indeed, how she doubled down on these statements. And yes, here we are with Chisazette. I finally found my bearings here. Chisazette brings forth the next, the doubling down view of Madam Williams. And quite simply, she is, instead of, taking ownership, taking accountability for what she said and maybe try to, change the argument just a little bit. No, she decides to double down. So here we are again, and I'll let her take it away.
Black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us. Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning Black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about Black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either. So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of Black men when I said what I said.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Wow, 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 indeed. Here's the thing. She's pouring into the ascension of Black men for what she said in terms of her preference and the fact that she would not date a bus driver and they are beneath her. Okay. Right. A lady who has failed at marriage, a lady who is still single to this day, a lady who is, we'll show you the statistics as to what she faces in terms of finding this Prince Charming on a shining steed, ready to rescue her from her $1 million malaise and prison. But yeah, she says she's doing it to raise the standard of Black men. That's what she's doing. She's doing it to raise the standard of the majority of Black men. Okay. Fair. Okay, well, we'll show you the statistics are a bit skewed on that subject anyways. And is she willing to speak to that to herself or to anyone else? But let's go.
Okay.
But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and Black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best.
Here's the thing, everyone who's within the sound of my voice. It's because of rhetoric like that that black women are the least chosen women on dating apps. Yeah. The least chosen. Because they're too masculine and their standards are way too high. They set them way above the board, way beyond the bar of most people. I mean, no, listen, she earns $1 million, so I guess her standards have to be high. But again, it's for those who listen to her. It's for those who follow what she has to say. Those are the ones who will face judgment in the dating market, especially on dating apps, because no man wants to face this sort of, well, let's call a spade, this sort of masculinity on a daily basis when they come home from work, be it blue collar, be it white collar, be it whatever. No man wants to face that. And for you to bring that to the attention of black men in general and blue collar black men in particular, no wonder you're single. No man wants to deal with you. No chance. But hey, she's not done. She's not done.
Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay.
Okay, so there's another thing that she pulls up there that I failed to hearken to, is the fact that mostly blue collar workers are supposed to be C's and D workers. They're supposed to be the least among us. They're supposed to be the underachievers of our population. Yeah.
No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations.
Again, people, you wonder why black women are the least chosen among us in the dating market. I mean, least chosen among black women in general in the dating market. Because do you want to come home to that? Do you want to see that on a regular? Do you want to see that? She just said it herself? Is she creating for you a gentle place to land? No, she isn't. She's already told you she's not. Unless you're creating that rest for yourself and she nests in it, then she ain't doing nothing for you. But again, that's what we expect from women. Women don't build with you, they move in with you. So, I'll let Chissa go ahead.
Wow. Guys, the video just cuts right there as far as what we had on What's Brewing Official. Make sure you guys check us out on Instagram. How this turned into a conversation about what's best for black men, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. Maybe you guys can help me out in these comments that I'm about to read right now. Let's check out this first comment from a subscriber that reads, "Ma'am, this is not about the ascension of black men. This is about your own personal standard when it comes to who you would want to date." Yes. How did this conversation about her basically saying she would never date a bus driver ever turn into a conversation about how black men need to stop accepting mediocrity? I mean, hey, we can have that conversation about men accepting mediocrity, and we all sit here and say, okay, well, we agree that if you can do better, you should do better if that's what you want for yourself as a man. But here's the problem. That's not what this conversation is about. And she's skillfully trying to change the goalpost here in front of everybody's eyes. But good thing we live in a world where this isn't a news station that she's talking to. These are real people who have real conversations, and they're not just going to let you switch the goalpost in conversation that easily. That's not what we're talking about. Let's keep reading here. This comment goes on to say, the question was simple. Your answer was simple and direct. Nothing wrong with that. That's your standard. Having said that, Don't play on people's intelligence by switching the narrative. Great point. He goes on to say you wouldn't date a guy who you felt was beneath you. ... No matter how well he treated your soul. That's it. That's it.
And not only did this lady go on to, say that black men of a blue-collar nature, of a blue-collar working standard, were underachievers. Number two, she doubled down on that, saying that they were unintelligent. That they lacked common sense. That they, if I paraphrase here, that they do not measure up. They do not measure up. And I say to them, where do you get off saying that? When on previous shows you've already said that your family came from a blue-collar background. They came from a blue-collar background. Simply stunning.
And then we have a woman here who responded back to that guy and says, beautifully said, she almost tricked me with the new narrative. Yes, she was asked, would you date a bus driver? And this is assuming that the bus driver is somebody who will treat you well, who will be loyal. What modern women want today would be loyal, would be faithful, would love you, all the good things, except he's not in the top 10% or whatever standard she considers excellent and that she thinks that she deserves. Would you date that man? She said no. And that was that. And that's what people were reacting to. Why? Well, because that's the dilemma most boss babes are in right now. They think, well, the more accomplished I am, the more successful I am, you guys know how it goes, the higher value man I deserve. And that's they're using that same currency of success to negotiate with that man when he's not using that same currency. He doesn't care about your success. Here's another comment from another man that says,
let's just leave it there. But before I leave, it is true what she said. It's true. It's absolutely true. Dignity is a requirement. What I think it's a woman. Yes, I believe it's a woman. What she said. She almost tricked me with a new narrative. Yes, that's right. She tried to trick us with a new narrative because she knew what she said was totally out of line. She tried to change the goalposts and say, oh, I'm just trying to uplift standards, because she knew what she said. Okay, I wouldn't date, I wouldn't take a bus driver. Oh, I date a guy who drives the bus. Fine, that's a preference. That's fine. That's totally out with it. But when she doubles down to say that these gentlemen are unintelligent, and when they lack any sort of standards that they should raise in order to uplift not only themselves but black women and the race in and of itself, that's sort of insulting. They're doing what they can. They're doing what they love to do. But clearly it's not good enough for Ebony K. Williams, which is fine in terms of her man and what she wants. But again, don't insult blue-collar workers, black blue-collar workers by this sort of rhetoric, by this sort of argument, and changing the goalposts in and of itself, because she knows she was wrong by saying it. She was wrong to say, oh, I'll drive the owner of the bus, because she knows she wants to extricate herself from that ignominious indignity, but that's what happens when you act out of emotions and not logic.
It's like what Kevin Samuels says, in parentheses, rest in power. This man goes on to say, the black man not only has to work the plant, he has to own the plant and more. Even working is not enough.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Chisa Zed. But we're gonna get back into that part. I just wanted to play that part right there. The black man not only has to work the plant, he has to own the plant and more. Even working is not enough, and it's absolutely true. Working is not enough for Ebony K. Williams, but let's speak to that. standards just for a bit, just for a little bit. Yeah, let's speak to Ebony K standards just a little bit. I'm gonna go back to, again, we're just going up and down and all around here with regards to tonight. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live. Just a second. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to. Can I pause this?
She's an open black feminist, and again, I appreciate her honesty. She's about to tell us why her as a black.
There we go. I left this here. Okay, there we go. So, let's go back to. Here we go. Yes. This is what I want to see. Ebony K. Williams odds of marrying the top 1% of earners. Let's see how lucky my lady Ms. Williams can get with her high standards, shall we? Before we get back into the whole study of if blue-collar workers are second-class citizens in the dating market. So, again, this just came through today. I just happened upon this today, and it is a very good analysis of the odds of Ebony K. Williams marrying that top 1% of earners that she so desperately craves. I think it's such delicious talking point that we can get into here. Let's see how successful she can be. Let's go.
Figures or any single black women on podcasts from expressing their dating preference, because now you put yourself in your own predicament. Now, if Ebony or you dates and or marries a blue collar worker after you said that you wouldn't, your sisters are going to condemn you.
Alright, that was just the beginning. Let's go back. I always
You
forget.
guys to pay attention. I'm talking in particular to public figures who are women and also women in these YouTube spaces. This is something that you guys need to hear and you need to come to grips with when you get on these panel shows and you show your true colors or you say something crazy about the dating market. But I'm going to specifically talk about Ebony K. Williams, but this can translate into the women who show themselves and talk on these panels. This can help you out as well. So, what's next for Ebony K. Williams? Everyone has talked about her comments, but no one has addressed the predicament that she's placed herself in. Ebony is saying that she essentially doesn't want to date blue-collar workers. She just effectively removed 22.7% or 36.9 million men in the United States from her dating pool. As of
There it is. She has 32.9 million men are off the table for Ebony K. Williams. 13.9% of the working population have been wiped off the block for Ebony K. Williams because she has a preference, people. She has a preference. So good men within these circles, within these environs who are blue collar, who have blue collar professions, she's wiped off the map because they're not good enough for her. Remember, she said it. They're not good enough for her. She'd rather date the owner of the bus than the man who drives the bus.
Based on the BLS data and Center for Economic and Policy Research, there was 13.9 blue-collar workers, or 46.1 million. 80% of those...
Sorry. 46.1 million. I stand corrected. 46.1 million workers out of 300 million people. 331 million people in the United States. 46.1 million of them are blue-collar workers. So she's wiped them off the map. Let's continue.
Those workers are men, which equates to 36.9 million.
There you go, 36.9 million. The blue-collar workers, 36.9 million. I was right the first time. Okay.
Give you a view in regards to what she did to her dating pool. Now, Ebony also said
That is to assume that she wants men. If not, the dating pool is wide open for her. Then we get up to the 42 million. But you know, we are to assume that she wants men because she's always dated men. So let's continue.
in previous interviews that she wants to marry a man at or above her income level, hypergamy. According to multiple reports, stating that she allegedly earns $100,000 a month, which equates to $1.2 million per year. In a 2019 study in American Sociological Review, women's income alone is sufficient to qualify for 1% status in only 4.5% households. So, let me explain what that means. So basically, there are only 4.5% of women in the 1% who qualify to be in the 1% outside of having a husband. So, Ebony K. Williams falls into that 4.5% of women who are in the top 1% because she allegedly earns $1.2 million per year, $100,000 per month. So that puts her in the 1%. So, more broadly, women's...
So again, she's special. She is a special lady, and it's seen here on Talk Live. We show that women's income alone is sufficient. Okay, to qualify as for the 1% status in only 4.5% of 4.5% of 1% households. More broadly, women's income is necessary to achieve 1% status in only 15% of all 1% households. Which means 85% of 1% households do not depend on women income to be in this elite group. So, as has been said, she's a rare breed. She's a very, very rare breed, and she has these sort of standards for herself. But again, this salary came because of a TV deal. It wasn't exactly through her own blood, sweat, and tears. It was because of the fact that she was attractive and she could basically play herself on a reality TV show, and there you go. And that is a sort of this sort of feminine privilege that they can enjoy. They don't have to exactly work for it; it's actually given to them because of their looks. But we continue.
This income is necessary to achieve 1% status in only 15% of all percent households, which means that 85% of the 1% of households do not depend on a woman's income to be in this elite group. So basically what that means is that out of the 1%, so if you have 100% of the 1%, 15% of the top 1% of earners, they rely on their woman's income to be in the top 1%. Only 15%. The rest, the 85%, is just all men. Their income, they contribute, so they qualify to be in the top 1%. 85% of men. 1% of 331.9 million people in the United States, that's 3.3 million people in the top 1%. But, this is key, 85% of 1% earners are married. So, if you have 3.3 million, and then you minus that from 2.8 million, that leaves 497,000 people. And now, since...
Go back to that stat again. Let's go back to that stat again. So there's only 3 million people in the top 1%. So if she is hypergamous, as she is, basically alluded to within her diatribes and rhetoric, she is only allowed, I repeat, she is only allowed to access at most 3 million people in the United States alone. 85% are married. So wipe that slate clean, because as I said on Talk Live, usually the rich, they stay married. The rich do not try to... the rich are probably the most married income strata of all. High income earners usually, they pool their resources. They're not one to play around and be bachelors out there. They're very, very, very much into the institution of marriage. So in doing that, that only leaves male and female 497,000 people. 497,850 people. They aren't, those are men, women, men, women, children, gay, straight, all of them. All of them. Black, white, every race, every gender, 497,000. So that is the size of a small city. I think it's the size of one of the smaller American cities. Yes. So good to know.
That leaves 497,000 people. And now, since we know that 85% of the 497,000 people are men, approximately 423,172 single men are in the top 1%. So, out of the
423,000. Ooh, Ebony. Oh my God, you paint yourself into a corner. 423,000. That is your dating pool. Because Ebony wants to date up, not down. Remember, she wants to date up, not down. She doesn't want a bus driver. She wants the man who drives the bus. And lo and behold, he needs to earn at least $1 million or more. Make that make sense.
162.4 million men living in the United States. Ebony K. Williams' dating pool is 0.2%. Yeah, 0.2%. That's what she effectively did by saying what she said on social media, on public platforms, because she wants to marry a man in the top 1%, because she's in the top 1%, right? It makes sense for her. But also,
let that sink in. Her dating pool is 0.2% of the population of the United States. And I would say that would be pretty much similar in any developed country around the world. 0.2%. Millionaires aren't populated, in one country or everywhere. Well, I mean, the most millionaires really, I think, is in the United States. I think China's catching up. But it's pretty much there. Yet they want a opinionated, masculine, yet I give her above average looking woman like Ebony K. Williams. That's what high value men want. Ebony K. Williams, ladies and gentlemen. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. Let's go. Let's go. You'll believe anything. Let's go.
So Ebony K. Williams, she's actually dealing with something else, because if you guys, this is public record, this is not me sharing anything new. She is actually looking to have her embryos transferred so she can have a surrogate. Let me read what they said in this report. This is People Magazine. They quoted her. They said, "I have embryos and I'm looking to transfer later this year. So I'm in it for real. Hopefully, God willing, baby comes soon." She added, while she is looking to become a mom on her own. They literally put that in. They put that in there. They said she's looking to become a mom on her own. Williams.
Remember the show on Talk Live that I did just a couple months ago with regards to... hold on just a second. Let's find her name. I always forget her name. Yes, 51-year-old mom. The TV presenter. Yes. Remember we did the show on her on Talk Live? Let's find her face. She wants to be like this lady. Yes. Where does she go here? Oh, I want to know. TV news presenter. Hold on a second. Oh, black TV news presenter. Al Jazeera. There we go. Yes, there she is. I do remember her. Yes! Where did she go now? Where did she go now? That's Soledad. Where did she go now? Al Jazeera moved home. Back to U.S. God damn it. I forget her name. Why am I not... Soledad, no. You know, let's see. Moved back to the U.S. Tamira Hall. Tamara Hall, yes indeed. This game, yes, there she is. There she is. I knew I'd find her. Yes, there she is. There she is. Remember her? If you're watching on Talk Live, remember her? Yeah.
My next guest is a celebrated journalist
Whose career what?
took her to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
But a desire to be a mom led to one of the biggest decisions she'd have to make. Move home with no job, all for the chance to start her own thing.
My name is Rochelle Carey, and I'm an Emmy Award-winning journalist.
Rochelle Carey. There she is. There she is. Rochelle Carey. Remember her? She gave up her whole career so she can freeze her eggs, have a child, and move home so her parents can raise them. I have a similar prediction for Ebony K. Williams if she doesn't find a man. She'll give up. Well, I don't know. She may have her housewife show. You never know. But, you know, is she a housewife? No, because she's not married. However, I see a similar feature for Ms. Ebony K. Williams, the way that Ms. Rochelle Carey is living right now. I see it. I just predicted. But again, we're getting off the subject, people. We're getting off the subject. There's more to go here. There's absolutely more to go. Where are we at here? There we go.
She recently was reintroduced to a guy by her dentist. They was just putting her dating life in there. So on top of her being an older woman, on top of her being in the top 1% of earners, she is looking to become a single mother on her own. So she's going to have a tough go at it. I mean, Lord, that's the last thing that she needs to do. And I'm sorry to say that, but I just wanted to put things into perspective in regards to what she did with her chances on the dating market. And also, this is for the women who are in these public platforms, who are doing these panels, and you showing your ass on here acting a plum fool. This affects you in the dating market. I'm gonna tell you why.
Yes, she poo-poos the blue-collar man. However, for what she wants, guess who's the failure? Guess who's the person who's making C's and D's in the dating market? Yes, it is Ebony K. Williams. She was married, she failed at it, and now she wants a baby with someone that she met from a dentist. Let that sink in. And yet she's calling blue-collar workers C&D average men and failures. I may be paraphrasing. Let's continue.
And also, this is why I discourage black female public figures or any single black women on podcasts from expressing their dating preference, because now she puts yourself, or you put yourself, in your own predicament. Now, if Ebony or you dates and or marries a blue-collar worker after you said that you wouldn't, your sisters are going to condemn you. If you guys don't know, Mary J. Blige got shamed.
Mary had invested into her now role reversal bank account draining ex-husband slash ex-business manager Kendu Isaacs. Now, from the beginning of their marriage in 2003, Mary was indeed the de facto hypogamous breadwinner and eventually became overwhelmed with her fiscal responsibility to finance both her husband's and her stepchildren's lives. And unfortunately, the disrespectful dam broke, and their role reversal divorce made humiliating headlines in 2017 as Kendu aggressively went for Mary's money jugular.
Gabrielle Sidibe got shamed.
But this
Before I get to Gabrielle Sidibe, remember, Mary J. Blige has to pay alimony to her ex-husband. Alimony. That's just the world we live in.
Realize, ladies, I'm a realist, and you won't ever hear me celebrate a black woman dating down, no matter what race the man is, because our history with dating and marrying down is bad. It almost always ends in disaster. Again, I wish them the best, but personally, I am worried that these women will end up like every other successful black woman who marries down. And I hope that it doesn't happen because it's just going to be embarrassing, to be honest, for the black women who are celebrating these unions. So I do hope it goes well, but I just don't want black women to go from marrying down with black men to marrying down with non-black men.
Jill Scott got shamed by.
Oh yeah. Gabby Sidibe was up here recently with said husband, showing him off to the world. But she's high value, right? She's a high value woman. High value woman. But she was dating down now. So what's to say about that? Well, let's continue. He was mentioning Gil Scott. No. Go, continue. Jill Scott, please, go.
I just want to use this as an example to further reiterate my point that I've been making on my channel since forever about hypergamy and how black women not dating or marrying on their level or higher is just not working for them. It's not working. Jill Scott and her soon-to-be ex-husband and his 5 children that aren't hers, but she married him anyway. 5 kids, makes less money than her.
Because they considered her dating down because she made more money than her husband. And you all seen how that played out. So they condemned her for that. So, like I said, these public figures, women, they place a lot of emphasis on what women think about their relationships. And it's sad to say, and I know you guys are like, oh no, that's not true. If you think I'm lying, how old is Young Miami? The girl that...
Okay, before we go there, remember, there's another one who actually lives up to this adage and famously sang about not wanting any scrubs. Chili. Remember Chili? She is now dating a unemployed actor. Actually, no, did she marry him? I think she married him. Let's see. Chili. TLC and fiance? Yes, I believe the fiance is Matthew Lawrence. That's right. She is dating a scrub. Chili is dating a scrub when she swore she didn't want any scrubs. She swore by it. She swore she did not want any scrubs. Matthew Lawrence are dating. Yes. Unemployed actor Matthew Lawrence. I just wanted to bring that up. But anyways, let's go back. Because she don't want blue collar though. They don't want scrubs. They don't want blue collar. They don't want C and D average people. But yet, who do they end up dating? Oh, wait a second. Another one, Nicki Minaj. Isn't she dating an ex-con? Oh, actually, she married an ex-con, didn't she? Yes, she did. Very proud of him as well, I'm sure.
That's dealing with Diddy right now. She posted something saying that she was done with Diddy, and she's single, and she showed up at the Met Gala with him. And she literally had to put out another tweet saying, hey, me going back to the guy that I told you I was done dealing with. Because everybody was already invested in her leaving Diddy because they feel that Diddy is wasting her time. But she's okay with that. And I explained that in multiple videos. There are a lot of women that are okay with wasting their time. And it is not your job to explain to them, this is going to hurt you when you get older. Because there's so much information out there for women. If you just listen to these male spaces, they'll tell you exactly what's going on. If you don't listen, it's your fault. Waste your time getting pampered, and then when you get older and you start singing that song, I'm looking for a good man, I need to find a Russell Wilson.
Or no scrubs, or no scrubs, or no scrubs. No scrubs. No scrubs. If you sing, no scrubs.
Encouraging guys to not give you an out because you don't deserve it. So as my page grows, I'm expressing my opinion to the men that follow me. Don't give those women who waited an out. So you better straighten up. You better figure it out right now. So and then also.
Okay, so thank you very much to Media Man. Thank you so much, Media Man. Do subscribe to him. His subscriber list is going through the roof. I've subscribed to him. He's got a lot of good information on his channel, as I featured with him here on many occasions. Shout out to Media Man. Now we can get back to. Yeah, we can get back to it now. Oh, no. Wait. Before I do that, yes, I wanted to bring this up. So you think black women are the only delusional ones, are the only ones with high standards? Well, I'm here to show you that that is not the case. It is female-wide in the developed world. This is the standard of modern women in the developed world. Don't believe me? Here we are here on Fresh and Fit. Shout out to them. And they have this feature on their show where they build a man for these ladies. A lot of these ladies come in asking for men to be high-value men, to be earning a certain standard of salary, a certain standard of lifestyle, a certain standard of real estate and investments and such. And with all these variables that they want to their liking, thinking that this is going to fall into their laps, Fresh and Fit have this wonderful option where they literally sit these girls down, put in their preferences that are averaged out through the U.S. Census, and humbles them into the reality of what their preferences and how hard it is to find and fulfill these preferences for these ladies. But let's just go a little bit further back because, again, it's, let's see here. Where are we at here? Yes, here we go. So we know this is 232. We'll go back to 221 for a second. And we're going to just talk to Fresh and Fit and let you know the reason why these ladies en masse. It is not just Ebony K. Williams. Let's not throw all of our opprobrium on Ebony K. Williams. This is actual channel. This is actual Modern Woman Wide. And we're going to get back to that tonight on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. We're just going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on Instagram, so stay with me. Thank you very much for keeping me up here on Talk Live. Let me just reboot this Instagram here. Here we go. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We are back. We are live. We are live on Instagram. So we're just continue on the Ebony K. Williams, and the topic being are blue-collar men second-class citizens in the dating market. So let's continue. With Fresh and Fit. We just left off there with Fresh and Fit, and their explanation of why blue-collar men are not sexy to women. And we're going to get into that on Talk Live. But let's go. Let's continue.
I have my own flooring business that brings me $200K a year, and I strive for more. I have friends with masters that make less than me. Bro, you guys gotta understand, with women, titles are extremely important, bro. They're very, very important. Women respond favorably to status, guys. And unfortunately, a landscaper to a lot of girls isn't sexy enough, or a plumber, or an electrician.
You'd be surprised though.
That's what it is.
If your lifestyle is a certain way set up, like just your lifestyle is like cars, maybe a nice house, she won't even care about it.
She won't care what you do.
But if you tell her, oh, my landscaper is like, nigga, what?
Yeah. Guys, the way you meet a girl sometimes is more important than meeting her. So, for example, let's say you meet a girl on Tinder. She ain't gonna take that serious. Let's say you meet her at a club. She ain't gonna take you serious. But let's say you have a party and you're the host and it's at your fucking mansion and you're ugly. You might get some play.
Or a yacht.
Or a yacht. You might get some play. How a woman meets you is extremely important, and that might make you more
handsome.
What is it? Attractive?
Maybe, yeah.
Is every guy...
That is how superficial women are, my gentlemen. Gentlemen, I cannot stress this enough. When Rollo Tomasi says more money, more muscle, learn game, hold frame, he's absolutely true. Women are superficial at best. They are emotional and superficial. If you do not have your stuff together, if you do not have a title to which they can show off to their friends, such as their superficiality, believe me, they will not give you the time of day. They won't. They simply won't. And it's been proven time in and time out. You say you're a mechanic to a lady, so they don't want to speak to you because it's a dirty job. But if you're a mechanic who's successful and has different mechanic shops and has a lifestyle to boot, oh yeah, they'll take a liking to you because it's all about names and monikers and lifestyle and framing to ladies. They like things set up so that they can brag to their friends about your life. Such is the case of WDK Williams. But again, I'll let this go back to the 22-32 because again, some of these ladies on here, we go 32. Here we go. There we go. Some of these ladies on here will not settle for less, as Ebony K would not. And you think that this is only a black thing, but it's not. It is a modern woman thing, and we're going to prove it here on Talk Live. Because, again, I'm sure it's about a similar statistic. Because we said that Ebony K. Williams' dating pool is 0.2% of the population. We said that there on Medium Man. Let's go here and see if that is indeed the case.
WT, $200 goes, why women combat his infidelity is because it challenges her status of the main chick, plus the thought of resources being given to another woman. Yeah. And not only that, bro, you gotta remember that, with feminism, Chris, you know the sound effect.
Yep, got you. Misogyny.
We tell women that they're special and they deserve the best, and we lie to them.
Let's move forward with this.
So this is the Build a Man calculator, okay? And what it's done is compiled information for the National Center for Health Statistics and the U.S. Census Bureau, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and put your dream man into this and see how common he is in the United States. So statistically speaking, how common your guy is and if you're going to find him. So what's the bare minimum income for your guy?
Is your database based on real?
I literally just said it comes from the U.S. Census Bureau and National Center for Health Services. So
and you have the reference on the bottom?
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Yeah, so what is the, okay. Yeah. So go back, Chris.
We're gonna do one by one?
Yeah, we got to do it one by one. So what's the bare minimum income?
So we're starting.
No, we're starting with her.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Bare minimum income.
Fast, please.
$350 a year.
Okay. So max it out, Chris.
Just for those who are joining us here on Talk Live, we had just gone over the statistics of Ebony K. Williams' chances of finding a high volume man in the United States, which is only 0.2 of the population, which means it's about a 423,000 odd men out there earning $1 million or more, because women are hypergamous. They want to date at their level or above, and Ebony K earns about $1 million, $1.5 million a year through her appearances on Housewives of New York, I believe. Yes. So that's what she earns. That's what she wants. So her only shot is at 0.2 of the population. To be fair, that's putting it lightly. Now, again, it doesn't have to deal. You have to deal with preference. You have to deal with height of man. You have to deal with six-pack, six figures. Is he ugly? Is he good-looking? Is he gay? Is he straight? You have all these different variables. So that can easily be cut in half to about a 200, to a 100, to maybe a 50,000 male pool in the United States. But it's not just for Ebony K. Williams. We have a lady on here who wanted a man, who didn't want a blue-collar man because it didn't suit her lifestyle. She wants a man who can read, who can read poetry, who could fence, who could, how else? Who can read, who could fence, who could build a home out of paper mache, and who could, and who is a astrophysicist, quite simply, and runs his own company. She wants all these things, all of them. But let's continue. Let's see how all of them look on a actual Build-A-Man app.
What's our boy fucking Sneeko? Sneeko, what are you talking about, nigga? He said kick her out. Specify who the hell are you talking about? Okay, so we got age.
What, your top on this calculation is 102?
Well, I'll explain to that here in a second why.
It's the average? Okay.
No, it's not the average.
Okay.
There's a reason for it.
Jesus.
But go ahead and but that's gonna be in that range of what you're talking about. So what's the age range that you want?
From 35 to 41.
Okay. And then what is the race that you want him to be?
Everything except black and Asian.
Okay. Oh shit. Yeah, bro, that's haram. Damn, black guy. Where's she from, bro? What are you talking about? Okay, so what's the bare minimum height for the guy?
It's not about haram. I like the opposite colors of what's close to my color.
Okay. What's the bare minimum height for you?
Sure, she does. Let's continue.
Minimum height.
Yep.
5'9" actually, since it was an example.
This is for your main guy. Yeah. Okay. Do you care if he rents or owns?
Oh, absolutely owns.
Own.
No.
Okay.
We gotta have babies.
Okay. Schooling. What's the bare minimum schooling?
Again, as much as me, so at least masters.
Like I said, she doesn't want women. Like I said, women don't build with you; they move in. Most women don't build; they move in. So therefore, she wants a man with freehold title, preferably in a salubrious part of town, and him living there alone. And with all the attributes already spoken. Let's go.
Fantastic. This is gonna be good. Can he be fat?
Oh, and if you didn't catch that, the man has to have a minimum master's degree. He has to be that educated. He can't just be of average education. He just can't have a university degree, which is sorely fleeting in the male populace. No, she wants a master's degree. That's how intelligent she wants this man to be. Okay.
Sorry, Bo.
Married currently?
Oh, he can't be fat.
Allowed in the States.
Well, no.
Past marriage and divorced? Okay, fine.
Okay, but so he can't. Okay, so he can't be married. Okay, so let's go ahead and find out, statistically speaking, how common this guy is on the next episode of Fresh and Fit Z. Let's go.
tell me what I already know.
Let me speed this up. Oh, no worry. I'll let it go.
Yeah.
Damn, that's so low. So you scored, let's see here, 3 catbacks so far. Let's see.
It's loading.
And
It's fine. It's fine.
5 perfect
It's fine.
catbacks. Fantastic.
I don't know.
You cat food forever.
Yeah, so you have a very high likelihood of being a cat lady.
You will soon.
Yeah, because
I travel so much, baby. I don't have time for face.
okay. So anyway, all right. So the reality is, the guy that you're looking for is extremely rare, as you can see. So very few men meet this requirement of yours. And the funny part is, let's say you do find this guy that meets these metrics. What's the chances that he's going to be attractive, charming, doesn't smell, not strange, personable, reads every day, etc.?
There are people like this out there.
Okay, well, statistically speaking, there's not many of them.
I know of them. They're already married. That's the thing they're taking.
Congratulations. Exactly. There's our point.
And there's our point. That is about as remote a chance Ebony K. Williams has at finding a man. And even this woman has finding a man, even though she has lower standards. Remember, she's asking for a man of $100,000 or more, which is only 10% of the population. Ebony K. Williams is asking for a man who is a millionaire or more. She's saying 0.1% of the population. I would say it's even lower for Ebony K. Williams since she's asking for a millionaire. 0.2% of the population. However, that 0.2% of the population I would predict to be like a 0.1 or a 0.001 or 0.002 because she obviously wants a black man, but you know that could be I could be wrong. She said she's dipped into every pool, but let's prove that right here on Talk Live. Thank you very much, Fresh and Fit. Let's move quickly. It's 9:31. Let's move quickly to back to this interview with as featured on Media Man here with the Horrible Decisions podcast here. And she explains how she has basically priced herself out of the market previously, and I would insist that such is still the case. But again, blue collar workers, remember 38.1 million people in the United States she does not want to see, touch, hear, deal with because they are beneath her.
The answer, because before my ex-fiance, all the men I dated, I was the breadwinner, like significantly so. And I was fine because, you know, whatever. Like you
were
said,
the sugar mama, okay.
I was kind of a sugar mama, like making 2-3 times what they made. And that was fine. The men with money.
Yes.
A lot of them say that they want a Claire Huxtable type, they want a Michelle Obama. They want somebody that's going out here getting it like they're getting it. But they do not really want that, has been my experience, because they do expect you to get in where you fit in to a life that they have already curated. From them deciding where y'all are going to live, where y'all are going to go to vacation, how the bills are, just whatever.
They want to be in control.
They do want to be in control, but they...
Quite simply, ladies, you want us to be in control. That's a lie. Because if a man doesn't have his stuff together, you don't want to deal with him. If he doesn't have a plan for where you're living and how you're living, you don't want to deal. You don't want to deal. So that's a lie. Because you think less of a man who does not make decisions for a family, for a couple. You think less of him. So therefore, such relationships only last so long. Boss chicks have a very short shelf life because through their own demise, they do not considerably want or have the time to take a relationship forward. They don't want to support a man. They don't. They never do. Women do not want to support a man. They'll think less of him and they'll leave him. So women aren't exactly setting up the homes. The men have to set up the home. As I said, women don't build the home. They move in to the home.
They don't, and they say they want a partner. And I think you can control some women willingly. I don't think that's a bad thing. I want to be very clear.
I like it a little bit.
There are plenty of women that like it a lot.
Most women like it a lot. Most women like it a lot. But this feminist, womanist, modern woman space will not allow for it. But deep down, they want a man to take charge and, run the roost. Because, again, it is not for them to build a home with their man. As we have seen from previous relationships with the stars, Jill Scott, Gabourey Sidibe, Mary J. Blige. Those sort of relationships don't last long. They end. They literally end. So for these ladies to say that they want to build with a man, that's a goddamn lie.
Women like it because they don't have another way to live their life.
Sorry.
Some of these men that we're being set up with through these, wealthy socialite friends of ours, we go out with these men, and these men are fucking confused about their market value. These are men that make a little bit of change. They might have a little house in Greenwich. They might drive a 4-door Audi. And they out here thinking they balling out of control. And they really think that women like us, who make our own significant means, are gonna be like, oh my God, let me suck your dick. I don't give.
Let the court, let the evidence show that none of these women are married. None of them. None of these women have significant others. None of them. One of them, who is on the left, the direct left, has frozen her eggs and is waiting for a date from a dentist as of January 2023. Make that make sense. They're laughing at their own misery. Incredible.
You are competing with younger women who are more agreeable. We already know these things, right, guys? So, if they're making decisions to say, I don't want to date a bus driver, don't argue with them. I'm not Kevin Samuels. I don't spend the time to argue with a woman about where she stands in regards to the dating market. If she thinks that she can wait it out and find a guy that she wants, let her do that. But in the meantime, she's going to be useful to the group on the dating market. And that's where I tell guys to use these women for what they want, because it's less likely that she's going to find what she wants at this age. Ebony K. Williams is a beautiful woman, but she waited too long. And I've discussed her in previous videos where she said that she was married in the past. She was a horrible wife. She decided to focus on her career. That's what she's doing now.
I think that sometimes y'all may be choosing your careers over, your personal lives.
It's not a maybe. I know I have. I will own it. For many years, all I was taught, and not to blame my mother, but she was single mom growing up. She did the absolute best she could. God, thank you, Florida.
Let that sink in. She came from a single parent household. She came from meager means, ladies and gentlemen. Meager means. She didn't come from a rich family. She came from a single parent household. And she is quibbling at a blue collar man's salary. Make that make sense. I wanted to play that exact quote. Make that make sense. How a woman who came from humble backgrounds, and listen, she pulled herself up, she made herself into a success, how she has literally turned around and shat upon average blue-collar men. Only in the only in the black diaspora can you have that happen. Only here. I'm sure it's around the world as well, but still. This plays out again and again and again. How this woman has literally detached herself from her humble beginnings.
What she said was books, books, books. No, I wasn't allowed to date. I was barely allowed to go to prom. I wasn't allowed to really have a boyfriend through any of it. I graduated from law school, started practicing, boop, boop. Next thing you know, you wake up and you're 30. And nobody has told you along the way, particularly as like well-educated black women, that at some point you have to carve out the time to create the partnership and the family.
Try to shoot a shot.
And now we know where she gets her masculinity. It's from her mother. But as Kevin said, Agent 66, they are pumped, black women, with this masculine adage that when you go to school, you don't go there to find a man. You go to show that you don't need one. Incredible. And she wonders why she's alone. She wonders why. I can see it clear as day. And yet she is on, and this is 5 years ago. She's 37. She's 42 now. This is 5 years ago. But yet she deflects from her own deficiencies in the dating market and poo-poos blue-collar men, saying they are beneath her. My dear, you would be lucky to have a blue-collar man in your life to tolerate that masculine, on edge, never relenting, sassy, ridiculous attitude.
No dude was like, well, I'm divorced. So, I mean, I guess you could say that. But you know what? To Charlamagne's point, one of the many reasons my first marriage didn't work is because I was a terrible wife. Because I was not about to prioritize him. Like, what?
A lot of women would never
admit that.
There it is again, guys. And she's just showing herself right here on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining the Talk Talk Live. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Spring Summer line out now. She's showing her true colors right there. She's telling on herself. She was a terrible wife. Yet she wants $1 million man so she can try again to be another terrible wife. But you know what they'll dress it up to say? Oh, she's learned her lessons, that she's a new woman, but and that she's learned the error of her ways. However, the reason why she's freezing her ends. There's a reason why she's in failed relationships again and again and again, because she hasn't learned to be feminine. She's only known the masculine way. And how do you rate masculinity? Through a man or female's earnings. The whole put your dick up monologue by Kevin Samuels himself.
Oh, that's a therapy.
Who's this guy?
Shout out to therapy. My ex-husband?
Yeah.
What you want? What you mean?
Just want to know about
He was a creative. I mean, he was a nice guy, shoe designer guy, whatever, smart guy, sweet guy. I just was not ever at that point, Charlamagne, going to make him or his needs or even our relationship needs my priority. My priority was getting to the top. Okay? It's only very recently that I've said, you know what? If I want to have a beautiful family, I'm looking around at people, you have a beautiful family. People that have family, they don't just have that. You have to create that. You have to take the time out, put your phone down and say, we on vacation, we bonded, we're doing that. And now I have the maturity to say, I'm not as grown as you think. I just got here.
Yeah.
Like the past 18 months.
That's what therapy does.
Yeah. Like, bitch, you're not just going to get the Claire Huxtable matriarch situation. You have to invest the time and the energy into creating that.
So
Now, if anybody believes that she has reached the age after that diatribe, the doubling before the down, the doubling down, the tripling down, the quadrupling down on blue-collar men through her own, which mirrors and deflects from her own deficiencies in the dating market, in her dating life, in her married life, in her relationship life, you're fooling yourself. Because she hasn't learned a damn thing. She's going full speed ahead. All that therapy she's taken in has not even taken. Is not even taken hold of her. Not even taken hold. And if you think she has, guess again. She's told on herself. That was 5 years ago. To this day, do you see changes in her mannerisms? I don't think so. That little diatribe right there shows she hasn't learned a damn thing.
So I don't need any men trying to explain to this woman, well, this is where you're going wrong because your standards, I don't care. She's going to be useful to the group. The next thing is they were talking about on the Breakfast Club, men are intimidated by women who make more money than them.
It's okay to date a blue collar guy. I just want to put that out there. But I also want to say a lot of blue collar men, Charlamagne, we were talking about this earlier, they all can be very intimidated by women who do make more. So I got plenty of girlfriends that say, yeah, I'll date a guy that makes less than me. But then if I bring him to the White House Correspondents' Dinner and he's around other men that maybe, talk about different things that maybe, he's not familiar with, a lot of men feel insecure about that. And so it makes it even harder for sisters to say, hey, I will help you build. Let's come together.
And I just want to put the women up on a little game. When you guys say that, you know what I automatically hear? I hear that a guy was able to have sex with you, and then when he was done having sex with you, all of a sudden, he was intimidated by your money. Because like I told you guys before, women tend to react better when it was their decision to leave a relationship. So when a guy is done having sex with you, the easy out is to tell her, I'm intimidated by the money that you make. And she's going to think that she did something good because now it's her idea to leave the relationship because she's too accomplished for this guy that she was dealing with. And I'm telling you right now, no man is intimidated by the amount of money that you make. But he will use it as an excuse to leave the relationship when he's done having sex with you. So I want women to understand that that is an easy out. Just think about it. Ladies, if a man has spent 3 months having sex with you and he wants to make it your decision to leave the relationship, all you gotta do is bring up, yeah, I'm not, feeling you, you always trying to throw your money in my face. You always trying to pay for things, I'm not too comfortable with that. And then the relationship ends, she can go back and tell her friends, hey, this guy left me because he was intimidated. In the meantime, he leaves with your pussy in his pocket. Simple. When women, and I hate to say it like that, but y'all need to understand this. No man is intimidated by how much money you make. But women like this, women who are very accomplished, y'all have a problem with you making more money than a man because you got to be the woman that has the doctor or the lawyer. So when you go in your circles, your sorority circles, to your business circles, when you introduce the guy that you're dating, he's a lawyer. He works at this such and such firm. He's a doctor. He's a surgeon. That means something to women.
Fellas, when you meet a new girl, what do your friends ask you? What she look like? Ladies, when you meet a new guy, what do your friends ask you? What does he do? What does that do that can help you out?
So y'all have the problem, not men. Men have never had a problem with how much money a woman makes because we know that there's other things that go on into being married and being a protector and provider. Yes, money is very important, but if love is your primary goal, if marriage is your primary goal, then women like Ebony K. Williams, y'all need to start trying to date like men because your pool is shrinking. For Ebony K. Williams, she's thinking that she's going to try and find a guy. Let's say she makes $500,000 a year. She wants to find a man who makes $500,000 a year as well. And people were sitting there commenting saying that, well, he needs to be able to afford her lifestyle. Why? Why? If she's already making $500,000 a year and she's affording her lifestyle and you bring a man into that equation, why does he need to afford her lifestyle when she's already affording it?
Women date.
And there it is, people. And there it is. it's this is why a lot of people say, and that most women, I'm not saying all, but most women can't support a man in the long term. They can't support a family in the long term. They're not geared to do it. They're simply not geared to do it. They'd rather have the man take the reins. That's why in relationships men take control. Because women don't want that responsibility. They don't want the responsibility of building a family, funding a family. Most women do. I'm not saying all, but most women don't want that responsibility. Because they see it's beneath them. Not number one. And number two, a lot of these ladies leave these blue-collar guys simply... And get this straight, ladies. Men don't care about your money, as has been stated here. They don't care about your money. They don't care about what you bring in terms of salary to the table. Because at the end of the day, if you truly care, as he said, about love, marriage, and the relationship, it shouldn't matter. However, because it doesn't matter to a man. It never has mattered to a man, because men go into this into a relationship knowing that they will have to be the breadwinners. They will have to carry the family. Simple as that. If things are to go long term, if not make at least half the bills, because women aren't willing to be providers for a family. They aren't. Their DNA doesn't designate them as such, and therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem with Ebony K. Williams. She earns $1 million, but she is not willing to support a man, number one. And number two, she does not, as she said, she divorced the man, a creative, a shoemaker, because she couldn't brag about his career to her friends, because it's all about image to a woman. It's all about status to a woman. If he's a lawyer, if he's a doctor, if he's working at this firm and that firm, then a marriage can continue because she can brag upon him. If she can't brag upon you, that in the very most part, and this is within all relationships, that relationship is fleeting. That relationship will end. As we always say, and Chris Rock, he said it. He didn't say it there, but he said it in another video. Men are on a timer when it comes to relationships, especially if you're not where they want you. If not where a woman wants you to be, you are on a timer. And if you do not reach your goals in a certain amount of time, women will weigh the options, and more often than not, they'll split. They'll go. Because they will not be in a situation where they have to be breadwinners, or they cannot brag to their friends that you're doing such and such or whatnot. And especially if you're blue collar. But guess who will? Yeah. Especially those who are dating outside their race and those who are passport bros. Well, it's another offshoot of it. It's another uncomfortable truth with regards to this. Now let's with regards to this issue. Now let's get back into the nitty-gritty. This 9:53. I want to see about wrapping up soonish. Let's get into the reasons why. Let's get into the reasons why. Let me see if there's anything else here. Well, we can go into Ebony K. Williams and such, but listen, she is what she is, and she tried to backtrack and try to get out of things. But let's get into the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is how blue collar men are doing in the dating market, and quite simply, they're doing just fine. I'll say they're doing just fine. Let's hear from Kevin Samuels. Actually, let's get into it. God rest his soul. He died this past week. I'm thinking of having a retrospective show on Kevin Samuels coming up tomorrow night on Talk Talk Live, or at least tomorrow night on Thursday on Talk Live, a retrospective on Kevin Samuels. I wanted to get back to this subject just quickly before I moved into that, but Kevin was always a defender of blue collar workers. And he realized that it's blue collar workers who built this society, who started and built the middle class. And they don't deserve to be crapped upon by the likes of Ebony K. Williams. I think he would be rolling in his grave. He would be literally taking Ebony K. Williams to task for the words she had to say. But we have this: most educated women look over blue collar men, and he gives an explanation on the importance of blue collar men to society. And listen, they're going to do just fine, quite simply, as they have already. Things may change, but one thing's the same: is that blue collar workers are needed to move society forward. And if you don't want to be around them, so be it. Somebody else will. Believe me, Ebony K. Williams. Let's go into it.
That's not who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the 40-year-old that's, out there, working second shift. Let's talk about what it's all said. What this really means. If you didn't learn anything from this last global catastrophe, that blue collar men run this world. White collar men, the guys who wear the suits and smell like Rose Barbar, we ain't nothing without the blue collar men. Nothing. We cannot exist without blue collar men. The men who do the heavy lifting, that sacrifice, get out there and work with their hands, sweat, wear them ugly boots, them funny looking uniforms, work in some of the most inhospitable conditions around some of the worst environments, so you can sit in your house or your office in air-conditioned luxury. Blue collar men built the world. Blue collar men run the world. You like this internet, this Google, the lights and all this stuff, it doesn't work without a power grid. It doesn't work without people who can run the plumbing, the electricity, the HVAC, the roads. Oh, you complain because you couldn't go get toilet tissue and hand sanitizer? What about the men that had to truck it from this side of the country to that side of the country while the country was locked down, when all the restaurants and stuff was closed? How'd they get from here to there? They had to make sure stuff was in your supermarket or not, so you could complain about it with anybody. Make no mistake, far too often, blue collar men get no respect, and in particular from women. And this is one of the biggest areas where you fail. Because I come from a blue collar family. Heartland, Oklahoma City, Bible Belt, factory family. My family was blue collar, factory, and domestics. My domestics, meaning they cleaned up white folks' houses when I was a young boy. Grandfather, a truck driver. Uncle, military man in the factory worker. Once he got up out them streets, when his daughter was born, he worked every day into retirement, not missing a day. These are the men that get up and go to work in the morning, early in the morning, and work themselves to death or injury. And far too many, you college-educated women look straight on over them because you think the man in the suit who smells all good with the nice manicured nails is going to put you in a better position. Let me let you know the secret. It is far easier to become a Blake Henry blue collar than white collar. Hello. Why? Because unless you are a physician, unless you are an attorney, something where you can go into private practice, if you are a white collar man, in order to make big money, you're going to have to go work in someone's corporation. Whereas a blue-collar man can be an entrepreneur. Word of the day, enterprising. I'm talking about enterprising blue-collar men. The blue-collar men that actually build those skyscrapers so we can put our headquarters there. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, a secret. We look at how you speak, talk to, interact, and refer to our blue-collar brothers. One of the biggest turnoffs is to see an educated white-collar woman talking shit about a blue-collar man in a white-collar man's face. I've seen it all my career.
Does that remind you of anyone? Kevin Samuels is telling from the grave. Does that remind you of anybody? From the grave he's saying this. He reminded us of this. That's why Ebony K. Williams is in the position she is in right now. And believe me, the words she said will ring in our ears. All men in our ears. That you disrespected one of them, call them C and D grade students, so that you can supposedly elevate yourself in the status of high-collar men. He said it himself right there. That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. That one piece of video. Ebony K. Williams, you are being watched. And we don't like what we see. We do not like what we see at all. At all. What we see is a woman who has disrespected manhood with her preferences. And you are entitled to them. But don't call them dumb. Don't call them unenterprising. Because you know what? My dad was one of these blue-collar men. My father, who helped build a life for his whole family through his business. And I mean from my mother's side to my father's side. He did it through blue-collar work. He built $1 million auto body business through blue-collar work. So when I hear the likes of Ebony K. Williams come to the stage and not only double down, triple down, quadruple down on some incendiary comments, I am just a bit offended. But Kevin ain't done.
In the car, going to the airport, and women talking about this guy in a protective vest, building the roads. And I'm like, don't you realize, you don't know who you're talking to. Oh, you think because I'm sitting up here in a suit and all this other kind of stuff, I'm going to sit there and laugh at them? They're always shocked. Like, why aren't you laughing at the joke? I'm like, this is my people. These are my people. This is where I came from. White-collar men have the utmost respect for blue-collar men. Why do you think your president even goes to these factories and stuff, and he goes there and he tries to butch it up to be on the same page with the guys who actually run this country? Because he's been a pampered millionaire, but even he understands that these are the men that run stuff. And you look over them. Why do you look over them? Because you honestly think that piece of paper with that stamp on it means something. There are precious, shout out to C.J. King that started all this off. There are single digits of white-collar Henrys. Single-digit percentage. There are double-digit blue-collar Henrys. What?
Including my father. Including my father. Who's still alive to this day. Still pulls in 12-hour days. He's in his 70s now. Still working for his family. Still at the business that he so loves for the last 40 years. Still with cuts on his hands from mixing paint, and lifting car parts, and writing estimates. You do not know the struggle of the blue-collar man, Evan D. K. Williams, and for that, you should have your opinions. But in this instance, keep them to yourself. Especially when you've got the statistics so wrong that it boggles the mind. And don't take my word for it. Oh, you want to hear some more, Kevin?
What am I talking about? I'm not talking. Now, what does it take to be a Blue Henry? A Blue Henry is a true entrepreneur. He's an enterprising entrepreneur. He may start out doing the job, product, or service himself. He may start out doing the work himself. He may start out working with his two hands, his toolkit, however he gets it. If he's a contractor, electrician, plumber, a builder, a truck driver,
or an auto body repairman.
HVAC technician, roofer. They start out doing the work as a journey. They may be a journeyman where they actually work from here to there, getting their skills. They may be an apprentice. They apprentice under somebody. But then that special Blue Henry, he learns how to do the job, but he also learns how to build the business. And he steps away from the work site and he puts on his blazer and his button-up polo shirt. He doesn't try to go in and do the designer suits and all that. No. He has on his nice slacks. He has on some boots that can go on the work site and in an office. He has a button-up and a blazer. And he comes and he actually secures the governmental contracts, the regional contracts, the local contracts. These are the men that the Blake Henry and Blue Henrys work together to make this whole ecosystem that you fawn over. So the first question is, are you making a mistake by looking over blue-collar men? Well, only if you want to win. Only if you want a man who's actually in charge of his own destination. Far too many Blake Henrys are high earners, but not truly in charge of shit. We are names on a balance sheet. We are names in an organization. It looks good. But how many national account manager jobs are out there that aren't for Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, Fortune 2000 companies? There are no national account manager companies for a regional Blue Henry concern. But there are plenty of regional players that are logistics firms, that are oil and gas firms. Oil and gas is littered with Blue Henrys. They provide the valves, they provide the piping, they provide the stuff you would never even think of. Mud.
But indeed. But they also supply the buses. But you only want to date the owner, right? Well, the owner had to be the bus driver at one time. The owner had to be the prepper and the painter at one time. The greatest entrepreneurial set come from blue-collar workers. Not from the white-collar class, the blue-collar class. That you have literally discarded. So don't think that your Prince Charming is coming soon. Because as Kevin's already said it, not only have you insulted blue-collar workers, you've insulted us all, Ebony K. Williams. You and your ilk. Which I haven't even mentioned today. I have a few others here. I didn't want to take it there then. But I just wanted to focus on you. Since you have the utter gall to make said statements.
These guys actually got to go work for a living. And because in the developmental years, they're not dressed like me. They're dressed in overalls, coveralls, the Dickies. And far too many of you women, because you went to state university, private school, or whatever, you come out of school and you turn your nose smooth up at a man who's making double what you're making with your marketing degree or communications or whatever, at your age. Let's be real. Many of you will choose to become one of 5 for Blake Henry instead of one of 1 for Blue Henry in training.
Remember what I said earlier on about the top 5 earning positions heading out of college? Most of them were STEM. Most of them were blue collar. Ebony K. Williams didn't do her research on that. She didn't do her research on many things. She just did her research on how to adjust her crown. And make $1 million by sitting in salubrious rooms made by blue-collar men. Shame on you.
Then what happens? You get later on, late 20s, and you don't have any proposals, no marriage proposals, none of that stuff happening. Then you start looking at the guy who was a Blue Henry in training and stepped out and started his own LLC, his own S Corp. And he starts out. And the thing is, these guys are bosses. Enterprising entrepreneurs, because they have staff. They have a payroll. They have a payroll in the business far sooner than Blake Henry does. They are actually the small business creators that run this country. 50 employees or less. That's these guys. And it is far more likely to become a Henry as a Blue Henry than a Blake Henry. Again, you have to be an exceptional earner to be able to replicate what a lot of these guys can do with the staff of 5. So why do so many women overlook these guys? One, you don't know them. You don't know them. You absolutely don't know them. You look at them because they got on jeans, Dickies, a workout. I mean, a protective vest, a helmet, a protective hat, goggles, and you look at them and you think it's manual labor, and you believe that you are in a different social class because you got your education, and they just have certifications.
Remember, women see 80% of men as unattractive, and they include blue-collar men. Men who have built this country. Men who do the dirty and the dangerous. Men who get their hands cut, scraped, so that you can live in relative comfort. Ebony K. Williams et al. And I wonder why you're single.
these guys around your girlfriends. Because when they get off work, they have to go home and shower and clean up because they smell like work. There is no happy hour with Blue Henry's at Sambuca. They can't go from the work site to the lounge because they smell like lava soap.
And they smell like quarter panels and hoods and paint and blowtorches and dust. They smell like that because they're doing it not only for themselves but for their families. And when I hear the likes of you, Ebony K. Williams, making said statements, thinking that you're higher and holier than thou, all I have to say is shame on you. Because my dad is one of those people. And he would take great umbrage at your asinine comments.
Hummus is in their house. You know.
Oh, just to add on, just to add on to this, just to add on. My dad could hardly read or write before he got to this country, and he found a way to do it. So, and he made $1 billion business in doing it. So, oh well.
I want that in your house because when you come through the door, their work boots got work on them. And it may throw up the entire feng shui of your new loft downstairs because no matter how you do it, a man is working in 80, 90-degree temperatures outdoors, shoes are going to smell. You don't want them to bring their boots in the house. They got to stay outside. You got all these different things set up because you don't want this hard-working man to, in the house that he can afford to buy 3 times over, but you can't. You want to make him feel this big, and that's your problem. See, men have more respect for Blue Henrys than women do. That's why you don't get them. Men have respect for work. Men know who do the work, and we treat them accordingly. Do you?
Do you, Emily K. Williams? Do you? Clearly not. That's why you're going to stay alone. That's why you'll stay alone. No man will stick around you. I'm predicting it now. No man will stick around you because if you treat blue-collar men like that, imagine how you treat, well, we don't have to imagine. You threw out your ex-husband, didn't he? Who made shoes. He was a shoemaker, right? A blue-collar man, right? Right? Right. Okay.
These, like I said, these are the men who can go out there and start their own small business and end up hiring a staff of 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 30. By the time they're 35 years old, these people can have a staff of 50 people. And at some point, they go from doing the work to doing the administrative portion of the work. And this is where, if you had played your cards right and found Blue Henry while he was on his way, you could have took your accounting degree or your finance degree or your business management degree, and you could have ended up running the office for your husband, your man. You could have ended up being the office manager or the person that's...
We're going to be right back on Talk Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue going on YouTube.
Everybody in line, such and so forth. And then when it's time to go to the Chamber of Commerce, where Blake and Blue actually have to meet, shake hands, and do business, you could have been there working the room for your Blue because his soft skills are not necessarily as good as yours. And they never will be because these men work around men. Let me explain to you what I just said. If you were smart, you'll go get these guys because they're not in the office with Keisha. They're not in the office with Tammy, Tiffany, Diane, Brenda, Marisol, Maria, Maylene. They're not in the office with potential Phoebes. They're on the work site with men. Kind of hard to have an affair with somebody at work when it's all men.
Truth.
So no, they don't. They're out doing the heavy lifting and the hard work. They don't want to come home and talk about love and hip hop Atlanta and all this other stuff. They want sex sandwich silence. They've had to work all day. But when they get to the point to where they're building and out networking and they're coming into the Chamber of Commerce meeting, the Heart Ball, the this, the that, Blake Henry never looks down on Blue Henry. Even though I'm in a straight up Italian custom suit and he's in a very nice blazer and a button up and some cool slacks. We know exactly who we are. He's got a building contract. He's a building contractor. He runs a roofing company. He runs a regional plumbing concern, regional electricians, HVAC, car lots, anything where you can sweat.
And auto body shops. I thank Kevin Samuels for that. Because certain females, certain modern women lose touch with that idea. Lose all touch with that idea. Let me get back to my full cam. Let me just close out with that. See, Ebony, we just reached the 2-hour mark, so I'm just going to wrap up now because we've gone way over time, but I had to flesh this one out and had to end with the anniversary of his passing, Kevin Samuels, the Godfather. May he rest in peace. See, here's the thing. When you throw out such nasty and condescending and throwaway comments, Ebony K. Williams, not only are you insulting blue-collar men, you're insulting men, period. You're saying only men who drive the bus can get your attention. Well, you're getting no man's attention with that. Full-blown diatribe and rhetoric that you not only double down on, you triple down on, you quadruple down on the Breakfast Club, which you didn't mention here. See, if you're black, sooner or later, a blue-collar worker is going to have to fall out of your family tree. You disrespect their legacy with said comments. No matter how high you grew. But remember, you came from a single-parent household, so you never saw a blue-collar man in your life. Right? You never saw the worth of a blue-collar man day in, day out like I did, like my family did. That is disappointing to me. Because with that, you would have seen how said blue-collar man with a certain level of education enriched the lives of many, created generational wealth, and to this day still goes to bat for his family. I learned how to be a man from a blue-collar man. So for you to come in and give me that absolute tripe of talk, my dear, you should be ashamed of yourself. And don't be expecting a ring anytime soon. I predict it. Because as Kevin said, Not only blue collar man watch, but all men do. And if you're willing to treat a blue collar man like that, what saith that 0.2% of men that you're looking for? I would say 0.005, but again, that's a whole other thing. And so, in closing, what do I think of blue-collar man's prospects? I think they're very good. They never have changed because the world still needs these men. The world still needs these certain gentlemen to do the dangerous, the dirty, and the jobs that move society forward. As Kevin said himself, presidents dress down for blue-collar men. And even though you can't Ebony K. Williams, as it says in a gift from Stephen A. Smith, we don't care. We don't care. We don't care, Ebony, because you will be one of those statistics that buy a dog and die alone. I hope that is not the case, but I hope you see sense, but I don't hold out hope. Just like you don't hold out hope for the best among us, blue-collar men. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk to Talk Live. Shout out to Media Man and Kevin Samuels and all those who participated in the show tonight. I wanted to go a little longer, a little deeper because we had to flash this thing out because, and I am going to capture this, especially that end part with Kevin Samuels, on its own separate piece that I'll release to the public. I guarantee you that. But if you see a blue-collar man in your household and he's done so much for you, say thank you to him. He's had to work hard in this life. He doesn't need the likes of you or anybody else to look down upon him. Honor his work. Be thankful for the fact that he brought generational wealth to you and your family. And do the honor of appreciating what he's done over many years or in the years to come. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live, sponsored by DunTalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. This will be released, I guarantee you, in its separate piece, especially with the Kevin Samuels diatribe right there. And I thank you for joining me. And we're going to get out of here. It's reaching 2:10. Watch a little basketball. My Jays lost. But, hey, such is life, right? And big up the blue-collar man. And I thank you, Father, for what you've done for me. And I love you. And I'll always remember your sacrifice for ourselves and our family. Good night from Toronto. To my people here on YouTube, thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live on IT and YouTube. We will be back on, if not Wednesday, Thursday night with a new topic. We will do a Kevin Samuels retrospective, RIP to the Godfather. May his soul rest in peace. And thank you to my father for all he has done for a blue-collar man who's done everything for this family. You don't deserve Ebony K. Williams' time, patience, or silliness. And this will be watched. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live, and good night.